Welcome to the Craig Mostyn Group 15-minute learning. IT training designed for the Craig Mostyn Group by Tiles. This course, PowerPoint 1, more than just presentations. We're going to look at the basic startup of a PowerPoint presentation and where we can find easy to use templates, self-design and using copy and paste to create all of the pages that you want. The slide master to create one standard page that reflects itself right throughout the presentation. And then making menus using hyperlinks and process design and how we can use a PowerPoint slideshow in our everyday work. Nothing to do with the presentation, but really making ourselves a nice personal portal to navigate our way around our day's work. Okay, so when you start PowerPoint, or if you go to File, New within PowerPoint that's already open, you get this page displayed. You can start immediately by clicking Blank Presentation, or you can choose from a selection of pre-done templates presented to you. There are also suggested searches along the top here for other presentations. Let's say we'll choose education, and it goes off and searches online for find related to education. If you want one of these, you click on it, say create, and it will download and open that up immediately on PowerPoint. And you can see that the various pages already laid out. They're similar but not the same, to allow you to add text and present a nice looking presentation. If you wanted to start with a blank presentation, choose blank and you get the default screen. If I choose new slide and blank, the new slide I get is totally blank, there's nothing on it at all. And I'm going to click on the old one and delete it. So all I've got now is a completely blank slide to deal with. Really we should start to work on just this one slide to get the basic outline, the basic design of the presentation you're going to do. And then after that, all we need to do is right click, copy and paste, and we can get as many screens as we like that look exactly the same. So let's try a right click, format the background, and I get some options here. I'm going to change the color to that blue and remove that format background. I'm going to put in some text. Now each screen I'm going to want my title on it. And I'm going to want that in white. And I'm going to center it. Now for each of my pages, I'm going to put in a standard text box. So I'll click on the text box, draw it out. My text goes here. My text, so you can see there I clicked on that line, the line that outlines the text box. And then I can go over here and choose the color I want for the text. Let's say it right. So we're going to have titles in white, text in this yellow color. And anytime I want one of those, I can right click on that line and copy, and then click somewhere else, right click and paste, and then I can move the box about. So I've got two text boxes there now. So that's the basic screen that I want for my simple presentation. I'm now going to click and copy, paste, and you see it's lost the format of the background. You can keep the source formatting when you do the right click and paste, and you don't lose the background. So I'll just show you that again. Right click and choose the one with the paintbrush in the middle to keep the source formatting, and you don't lose the background. So now in each one of these I can write whatever I want. I'll put this is the first screen on the third one, so I want that first, I'll bring it up to the top, simple as that. Just drag it up, put it where you want. Okay, so basic layout of a presentation. Do all the work once to get it looking how you want to look it all the way through, and then just copy and paste for as many screens as you want. Doesn't matter if you do too many, you can easily delete them. You want to get rid of a screen, click on it, press the delete key. And lastly, in this section, we're just going to have a look at how to play back the presentation using the little icon down the bottom here called slideshow. So you choose the screen where you want to start, go down to slideshow at the bottom here and click, and if you click again it moves to the next screen. Click again, it ends. Click again, we're back to our development screen. Now, one thing to remember when designing anything within PowerPoint is you need to keep checking what your slideshow is going to do. Things like hyperlinks and so on don't work until you're in the slideshow mode. Another feature in PowerPoint that can save you an awful lot of time when designing your pages is called the master. So we're in a standard slide here. If I go into view and click on slide master, you see the slide here is highlighted, and whatever I put in here, I'm going to insert a text box. This text on every page. So this, when I go back to the standard view, will appear on every new blank page that I put on. You'll see that text. And we can also put in the footer type information. So we'll have the date, slide number, footer chosen, and we'll have this is the text on my footer, and we'll apply that. And when we go back to view the normal, you'll see that that page has now given us the date, the footer text, the page number, and the text that I put on the master. I can't change this, can't delete it, can't do anything with it. And if I go here and go to new blank, that's what my new blank is like. The only difference is that the page number has changed. Do it again, new blank, page number's changed. So if you needed a standard absolute fixed design on every page, when you're just going to put a bit of text in the middle, very quick way of doing it. So here we have a couple of standards to think about when building presentations. We should try and keep to using the same fonts and pretty much the same sizes. Not too much information on one screen. You really don't want more than 3 or 4 lines on each screen. Keeping colours to a minimum. Sometimes a colour can be used to really bring home a point, or be used to indicate a certain part of the world or division or whatever it might be. But don't fiddle around with coloured letters and 10 different coloured words and all that sort of thing. It just makes it really hard to see. And be consistent, get your design right and use that design all the way through your presentation. And you can brighten it up from time to time by having full page pictures or full page videos that don't conform to your standard. But when you go back to using the words, you go back and conform to the standard. Now let's have a look at some probably more interesting things that you can do with PowerPoint rather than just the straight linear end-to-end presentation, and things that have nothing to do with a presentation at all. On this left-hand side here, I've created a selection of buttons that do different things, and I'll just show you how to make one of those. Choose a text box as usual, draw the box, and go to your format, drop down for your shape design. I'm going to choose a green one just so we know it's different, and type in here whatever you want. Once you've got your menu option button created, right click on that line at the top that we talked about before, and this time we select hyperlink, and there's a range of things that you can do in a hyperlink. You can make it send an email to somebody, so you type in their email address here, type in the subject there, and each time you click that button it will open a new email with that subject in it. Now if you're doing the same email every day, that can be quite useful. Another thing we can do is go to a place in this document, and that's what this process flow does that we'll look at later. So you say if you click this button, I want it to go to whatever slide it might be, and when you choose the slide, it shows you on the right here a representation of that slide, so you know you're picking the right one. Or you can go to an existing file or web page. So you could type in a web page address or choose a file that's on your system somewhere. Here I could go to there and then choose that file, and it would always run that file when I click that button. So in this case we're going to go for an email, and I'm going to email Pat times.com.au, and the subject daily email. And that's set that now, that button is set. If I want to make lots of them, then I right click, copy, right click in the white, paste, change my text, right click in there, and edit the hyperlink to be something else. I'll just delete that out of the way. So let's have a look how these work. Go to my slideshow button at the bottom, and process flow. So what the process flow is doing is we're designing a process flow or documenting a process flow, and within that there's decisions. So we see here an item arrives, you check what division it's for. If it goes to division 1, click there, division 2, click there, etc. So if I go to division 1, it tells me I've got to enter it in the book, and the manager has to sign it off. Back to the start, so this button is just going back to page 1 of the slideshow. Looking process flow again, item arrives, check division, this time it's division 2. Go there, this time we have to log it in a spreadsheet, and the manager has to sign it off. So you could see that building a process flow, a process could be very, very large, but breaking it down into its elements and then using hyperlinks to go to each part of the decision makes it very clear and very usable document. This one goes to a web page. So all we've done is put the web page address in, and off it goes and opens the web page. Now, if you had maybe 6, 7, 8 different web pages that you used every day, you could very quickly go to them from this one PowerPoint portal that you've created and have that shortcut. You've got your own menu, your own modules, your own piece of software designed just for you. Email somebody, click on that, it opens up your email system, your Outlook. You've already said who it's going to and what it's about, and you type in whatever you need to for that day. Open a folder, so we've got to go to the C drive and open a particular and go to wherever you want it to go. Open a sheet, so this is going to a specific spreadsheet. And here we've chosen for it to go to my daily spreadsheet. And here we're going to open a document, and it's going to my notes for my Word document. And finally, that was the new option we created, which was another email one. Let's have a quick look at that. So just imagine if you created a whole raft of these, and you had a page and it might have 10 down and 5 across with the different options that you can do. Just load your page at the beginning of your work day, and all the things that you do every day are laid out in front of you. You could even have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then they hyperlink to the page for what you do on that day. Another very useful thing to do with this hyperlink idea is if there are a lot of people doing a presentation in one session, and normally when this happens, you see each person come up, they fiddle around trying to find a file with their presentation on it. They open it up in development mode and fiddle around and press the slideshow button and it's ready. And the whole audience has been watching all this on the big screen most of the time. And each person does that in turn and has the same palaver to try and find their files that they want to present. Instead of that, with a little bit of thinking up front, you can design a menu with a hyperlink to each person's presentation on each button, and then gather up their presentations, make sure they're all in the same folder, and the hyperlinks are pointing to the right place. It takes no time at all, but when you do that presentation, you're in front of 50 people or 100 people, you've got 6 or 7 different people presenting, and all they do is walk up to the stage, press on their button, and their presentation opens up. Looks really professional, looks like you know what you're doing. Very straightforward thing to do. Many, many, many more things you can do within PowerPoint, and this is just giving you a bit of a taste, a bit of an idea. If you want to have a look at more detailed things, let me know, and we'll work on more detailed or more complicated presentation methodologies in another session. Thank you. Thank you for completing the course. Now please take a couple of minutes to complete the questionnaire. This will allow us to see how you're getting on with the courses, and it will allow you to provide information to us on what you would like to see in courses in the future. Thank you again.